Hey, what's up, fam? And welcome back again to Recap Kickback for the first episode of Recap Kickback presents the Flavor of Love Kickback here on Recap Kickback. Thank you for all the people who are watching us because we are live on YouTube talking about one of the greatest and most important reality TV shows of all, Flavor of Love. And with me to talk about this is a first time viewer of Flavor of Love. For the premiere episode, I had to bring in someone who had not seen any of it. Chantele, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I knew that this was an important piece of reality TV history that I needed to understand,
Mhm.
especially it being the origin story of New York, Tiffany Pollard. And I guess it had just been so long that I hadn't seen it that I just never saw it, and it's not the
Mhm.
easiest to find either. It's not something that's like regularly streamed on all channels and platforms. And so when you wanted to do this and you also found me the link to be able to educate myself, I felt honored and blessed, and I feel like I'm doing my civic duty. So thank you so much, Chappell.
Oh, thank you for being here and doing your civic duty because, yes, this is long overdue. Flavor of Love is one of those reality shows that I look back on and I think if it wasn't for this show, I don't even know if I would be as big of a reality TV fan as I am right now. And so anytime someone hasn't seen it, I'm like, what are you doing? We have to talk about it because this man really paved the way for a lot of the most insane, ridiculous ass shows that we will ever get. I mean, he starts a trend, Flavor of Love is like his version of The Bachelor. It will
The
then spin off
Blackshler,
quite
as he
yeah, the
says.
Black Slayer. And actually, I think they had played with that as an actual title for the show, and thank God they did not go with that. But yeah, it starts off as like a spinoff of like his version of the Bachelor. It's coming from the VH1 reality show, like kind of universe, and it really kicks that off. So they have like the surreal life and things of that nature. He meets Brigitte Nielsen, former wife, I think, or baby mama of Sylvester Stallone, and they really hit it off, but apparently she was in a relationship or married or something like that. So eventually they have to break up. But VH1 thinks it's a great idea to have a dating show based on Who Wants to Find Love with Flavor Flav. Now, eventually that will lead to two extra seasons of Flavor of Love because, spoiler alert, he does not find exactly what he's looking for the first time around. But eventually we will see Rock of Love. We will see I Love New York. And so many other shows that kind of go in this same vein of we found a celebrity, let's see if they can find love. So, Chantele, Flavor of Love, episode 1, you watched it. What did you think?
I think that it was amazing. What I loved about it is kind of, you said it yourself. It's what I love about reality TV. It's finding these people that are absolutely wild and fully authentic and true to themselves. I'm like, these people would never be cast, or they wouldn't be told to act this way. Like, they just have free reign of being themselves. And I just
Mhm.
loved the freedom and the inaneness of like what was going on. Like, even when we'll probably talk about it, but when he's putting on the labels on everybody's woman's breasts, I'm like, that would never happen in these days. You know what I mean? And so it was nice to see the freedom that reality TV had back in the day, where you really got to see characters and people and like willing to participate for no other reason than to participate. I don't think they think that they're going to be superstars after this show. Maybe they'll win a couple bucks. Maybe they'll get a little bit of fandom, but there was no Twitter, no Instagram,
Mhm.
none of that stuff. They were just really coming on for a wild experience. And I like the authenticity that it brings.
Yes, and I have to ask, our leading man here is from Public Enemy. It's Flavor Flav. When I think of who should be the first Black Bachelor, like it's hard for me to imagine a world where it's not Flavor Flav. But Chantel, what do you think about them picking Flavor Flav of all people to have these 20 women vying for his attention and his love throughout this season of VH1 television?
Well, he's just such a character. And I think that, because I believe he was on the Surreal Life first, right?
Yes.
I remember seeing clips of the Surreal Life because a girl from America's Next Top Model was on it, I believe, Adrian Curry, I think.
Yes.
And then Trishelle was on it from Real World and Real World and The Challenge. And so, I knew a few people that were on it. So I remember seeing maybe clips or something on, I don't know, the first YouTube, or I don't even know what it was that I'm seeing clips on. But I do remember seeing him and being very surprised that he was with Bridget Nielsen, and just thinking that he was just so wild and what's with the clocks? And I was intrigued. So the fact that they were intrigued enough to give them this position would only happen when, years and years ago, 2 decades ago, or however long ago this was made, he would never, ever, ever get this opportunity in this day and age. So I don't know if he would be my first choice, but I understand that at that time he was causing such a big to-do that people wanted to see this kind of, I don't want to say train wreck, but just somebody so wild that was so different from them, and just see what antics they're going to bring on the screen. And so they're just going with something wild.
Yeah, antics is right. I think antics is exactly what you're looking for when you're talking about Flavor of Love, because Flavor Flav is a spectacle. He is a human being who is larger than life, despite not being the largest gentleman. He fills a room with his personality. It's why Public Enemy is so famous. It's because he's such a big personality and a big energy on stage. So who else could you bring in to kind of contrast the Bachelor, where it's very, prim and proper, especially back in the early days? They weren't having none of this stuff. But in 2006, you're bring in Flavor Flav, let him cook, and just be the biggest personality that VH1 had on TV. And let's bring in 20 women who, for whatever reason that is,
they answered the casting call.
They answered the call, and they are here to find love. And we have to talk about this cast of women. Chantele.
It's okay. What I find really interesting is that I don't necessarily think that every single woman that's on this cast would have been you know what? If Flavor Flav is the Bachelor, I'm on this show. I want to date him. I want to marry him. So I do think that the casting call must have been something are you willing to meet somebody that's a celebrity, that's wild, have your opportunity to be on TV? You know what I mean? They definitely were selling something else, and they all adapted. And so I'm very surprised by some of the women that are I can't believe, I love him, I want to be with him. And I'm really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here to watch it.
I think I'm trying to figure out how to address what you said, because although you're probably right, chances are these women did not sign up to go find love with Flavor Flav. However, they will never say that. These women are all in on they are here to find love, and some of them are very, very serious about it, okay? Very serious. I'm talking about, there is literally a woman who will be named Serious, but some of them are coming in day one saying, this is my man, I am going to marry him, and the rest of y'all are merely competition, and I will pick you off one by one. And to that I say, we have to meet New York, Tiffany Pollard, and thank her for her contribution. Chantele, this is the origin story of one of the biggest reality TV stars of all time, and current reality TV stars, soon to be on their 3rd season of House of Villains. What did you think about Baby New York in this episode?
Well, what's really, really interesting is I hadn't seen the show really, but everybody used to say that I looked like her. And so I was living in Montreal, so they don't really know what people look like there. But and I just was I don't know who New York is. I don't know who she is. I haven't seen the show. And it's just very funny because I'm is that what I was like back then? I don't know. I'm really? But what I think think is interesting is that she's a little bit more soft-spoken than she is now. She's kind of a little more sexy, a little bit more like a little bit more demure. I mean, I know that antics are about to come because she says that she's getting that man, like, and she's nothing's going to stop in her way. Like, I know that it's coming, but she's quite, soft. And I don't really think of her that way. And so I love seeing New York and just knowing that she becomes a star. It's really kind of fun seeing her before she knew what power she's going to be having in this world,
Oh, yes. You are correct. The baby New York that we get in episode 1 will evolve into one of the biggest characters in reality TV, but she is not that yet. We have not made it to that point in life yet. We are still dealing with her, trying to find her footing, kind of trying to find who she is as a reality TV contestant. But it's clear episode 1 that she has come here to win the heart of Flavor Flav, and nobody will stand in her way. But there are 19 other women who have something to say about that. The second woman I have up here on this picture in order would be Pumpkin. I would say the second most infamous person from this season of Flavor of Love. I'm sure you know what happens between New York and Pumpkin, but Chantele.
I think, but I don't know for sure. Like, I just know for think.
Interesting. Okay. So, yeah. So I won't spoil how we get there, but we're on a collision course for one of the most iconic reality TV moments of all time, involving New York Tiffany Pollard and Brooke Pumpkin, whatever her last name is. And so those two will be focal points throughout the season. And then we have, of course, all the rest of these people. So Chantele, we do have to get into these nicknames. Flavor Flav says, it's too many of y'all. I can't remember y'all's names. So I need y'all to line up and I will give you a nickname. What did you think about this?
I loved it. I'm like, I wanted a nickname. Give me a nickname. I'm like, I want everybody. It's like name day. I think in some cultures, and maybe the Greek culture, maybe other cultures, you have like a name day. And so you get like named. I want to be named by Flavor Flav. I want my own name day.
Okay. So remember how he gives these names out. He lines the women up, and for the most part, he gropes them.
I mean, they are seemingly willing participants. I hope none of them felt that they were being taken care. Like, I don't want any lawsuits to have been pending or anything like that. But I just thought it was audacious. Like, excuse me, sir. Like, getting a feel while you're placing their name tags. Shocking. Obviously, that would never happen now. But I was just like, wow, he could get away with a lot back then. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So several of these women will get names based on their assets. Apples, bubbles, cherries, I believe peaches, and peaches. Those are the ones who all get their names just based on the way they feel. So he did something about the way he just touched them and got like a
premonition. He's just
a premonition.
Yeah. Just feeling his way into their nicknames. Yes.
Yes. So aside from New York, which of these women stood out the most to you in this episode? Do you have a favorite already?
A favorite? I mean, obviously New York's my favorite.
Or one with a lot to talk about. Yeah, who do you want to talk about? Because we can talk about you mostly. Some of them barely are in the episode.
Her nickname should be Country. The girl having some fun. Goldie. Goldie was having a good time. She's dancing. Next thing you see, Goldie's laying down on the couch. Next thing you see, Goldie is barfing in a bucket. They bring her, I think, a biscuit. They bring her some water. They bring her some gum, and she is back for the rose ceremony or the clock ceremony. I thought that it was. I think that she was a delight. She was real, and they would also never get this drunk on TV anymore. And so it's nice to see people, having a couple extra.
Oh yeah. So Goldie is going to be and will be, at least from my opinion, a fan favorite. She survives this episode despite having a little too much to drink, but she's killing it. Yeah, she's fun. She's killing it in confessional. Like, if you come away from this episode not liking Goldie, something is wrong. She says Flavor of Love is like, I don't know, a ghetto prom where everybody go to the same date. And I said, okay, cool. And we also get an iconic GIF from this episode, as we will get tons of them from Flavor of Love. It's Goldie dropping the strawberry in her glass, and they're drinking strawberries and champagne. That GIF, every time I see it, it makes me smile a little bit because I think about Goldie.
We should do that next time we're in New York, or yeah, let's do it.
Yes,
for Goldie.
Yes, the chat is already saying, I love Goldie. We drinking strawberries and champagne. I'm telling you, it's an iconic moment. I see that GIF and it just makes me so happy because I think Goldie out of the gate, I was like, I hope she lasts a very long time in this episode. I mean, in this season, because she's real. Like, you know, like you said, it doesn't feel like Goldie's there for any, you know, ulterior motive. She looks like she's there to have a good time, to meet Flavor Flav, and to actually bond with some of these other women in the way
the girls
that
love her, huh? Who's her bestie? Is it Hottie?
Her bestie is Rain. Oh no,
Rain.
Her bestie is Rain. Now, Rain, let's talk about Rain. Rain is very much in contention for that New York spot. You know, I think a few of them came in thinking this is reality TV and I'm gonna be who I am, and then a few of them were like, I'm here to win. And Rain tells us she will stop at nothing to win, and nobody will get between her and Flavor Flav. And she's like almost like two sides. There's the side that's getting along great with Goldie and dancing and drinking champagne, and then there's the other side where you get that zoom in from the camera when she says how serious she's gonna be. What you think about Rain?
I mean, I'm a fan of all these people. They're just so full. They're interesting to watch. Like, I'm shocked by things that come out of every single one of their mouths. Like, just their makeup, like their styling, all of it is just so amazing and just so perfect of the time. And I'm just kind of wondering, I'm like, some of them actually look familiar. I don't know if it's just as I've seen clips in my periphery throughout the years, but do you know offhand if anybody has done other stuff other than New York? Like, did anybody else have a little bit of a career?
We will see a couple of them appear again in reality TV, but not a lot. This cast is really a bubble. Like, it's not like, I think we will eventually get some Flavor of Love spinoffs, and they will include some of these women to lesser extent, much less. So there is that. Also, one of our contestants, Hoops, you'll see her next to Goldie in the photo. Hoops will eventually go on to date Shaquille O'Neal. And so that's like familiar. A big thing. Right. And so there's a few that's been in music videos and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of them, I think, try to get the best out of their reality TV time, but none of them go on to be nearly as big as like someone like New York. Like they don't scrape the surface of what New York's about to do.
I think what needs to happen, like after we go through all the different shows and all the different iterations, we need to do Where Are They Now? Because like they're all going to be like 40 to 50 years old, and like it'd be kind of cool just to see where life took them, because maybe they are, you know, involved in other stuff that we might have seen. We just don't know their real names.
Right. Or it's like they give you a glimpse of their names at the very end, right?
When
as
they're
he's
leaving.
eliminating them. Right. Yeah. But throughout, we're falling in love with characters who we have no clue what their moms named them. You know, if New York wasn't so famous, her name would just be New York to me. But, you know, we've seen her so much in other stuff that we call her New York Tiffany Pollard or whatever. But she has been New York. She got named New York on this show.
Well, I didn't realize that. So this was the first time that I thought that she came in being like, I'm New York, Miss Tiffany Pollard. I thought that she brought that to the table. I didn't know that she was named that by Flavor Flav. And so I think that that's actually pretty cool. That it became so epic. Like, it was just like a synergy of like magic happened to make her get on the show with Flavor Flav being named this. Like it was fated for her, which I think is really funny.
So I think New York is about 23 years younger than Flavor Flav. And so a lot of these women are in their 20s at the time of this. And I think Flavor is 47 or something like that. So, you know, God bless their hearts. They were all here for love. And, you know, it might be a summer winter romance, but some of them are here and they're willing to play the game and get as far in this competition as they can to potentially find love. So another one of our standouts, Chantele, is Cherry. Cherry up top in our right corner. She pour one out for Cherry. She gave it her all. But in one episode, Cherry really put herself out there for the love of Flavor Flav. And I think she's probably the biggest casualty in this episode. What did you think about her?
I don't even understand why she had to go. Like,
yeah,
she was all right. She's very beautiful. Like, what didn't we see? Because they show us a lot. So, like, what didn't we see about Cherry that made him? Maybe he knew that it wasn't going to work, and so he wanted to see the reaction. And so it was like, okay, I'll do like a big upset here, just to get like, some good footage, make some good TV. I don't know. I liked her. I didn't think that there was anything wrong with her. I wanted her better for her, but she had to go.
Cherry is tough because Cherry is really putting herself out there. She's like, I'm a sexual beast. Flav is not going to be able to deny me. And, there are moments where I think she's the first woman to get into her bra and panties to try to woo Flav. They're making out by the pool. He's groping all over her ass. And I think, and I don't remember this vividly, but I will say this. There might be a pattern between the women who get the most physical with Flav and when they get booted. So
booty?
Get booted.
Yeah.
Booty get booted. I think it's been a while. I have not binged the season in a long time, but let's track that. Let's see who's willing to go the extra mile in how Flavor Flav actually looks at them after they do it, because
it's like, grab your bags and get out.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, Cherry's telling the other girls to loosen up. She talks about Apples. She's like, Apples needs to loosen her corset a little bit. Apples says, I don't know if I'm going to fit in because of how ghetto some of these people are.
Apples is a little bit problematic.
Hey, look, I think Apples used the quotation marks because she's like, these are not my words. These women are walking around talking about how ghetto they are, and I don't think I can fit in.
She's very wholesome. Apples looks like she should be on a regular season of The Bachelor. Like, right. I do not see her in any way, shape, or form with Flavor Flav. Like, it is no part of it. And it is funny.
Who called her? Yeah, like what? Like, how did Apples get cast on this show?
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so I did put it to ChatGPT to see what the potential casting call could have been.
What?
Well, because I just was like, what could they have been like? What could they have been said for them to want to apply, for Apples to apply? So I haven't read it yet. So let's see if it's a decent casting call.
You gotta let ChatGPT go.
I love ChatGPT. Well, firstly, it did it with like saying it's about Flavor Flav, and I was like, I don't think that they would do that. But so this is the first one he says: Are you ready to find fame, fortune, and Flavor Flav? VH1 is looking for bold, beautiful, and larger-than-life women to vie for the heart of the one and only Flavor Flav. If you are fun, fearless, and not afraid to be yourself times 100, this is your chance to win the love of the ultimate hype man. We're looking for women who are outspoken, sassy, and unforgettable, comfortable on camera, and we mean comfortable, confident, wild, funny, extra. Not camera shy. Expect drama, romance, and unexpected challenges. 21 plus years old, single, and looking for love, or at least a good time. Do you have a unique style and personality? Know how to turn heads when you walk into a room? Love a man with a big heart, bigger clock chain, even bigger personality? Then we want you to join Flavor Flav in his search for true love. Casting directors are seeking the divas, the rebels, the sweethearts, the drama queens, the girls next door, and the ones your ex warned you about.
Chantele, does that casting call reach out as someone who has a career in the entertainment industry, you know, actress? Would you have answered the call?
Maybe for jokes.
Just for LOLs?
Yeah, just for the lulz. Yeah, for the lulz.
We love a good story.
I say yes to opportunity, right? You know that about me. So if this came and fell into my lap and it worked out with like how it went down, I would be like, am I applying for this? Yeah. So yes, I would apply for this show for the plot, for the lulz.
Okay, well, a lot of these women all apply for love, and there's nothing you can do to change my mind. Another person who we have to talk to, one of the people who obviously apply for love, her name is Hottie. She's right here in our second row, and our last column. She's wearing her pink. It's gonna be her signature look. Hottie shoos the other women away. First of all, she steals flav from them, and then when they come to try to get some alone time with them, she tells them, "This is my house. This is my man. You all are. Thank you for staying here, but you are guests in my home. Get out." Hottie really could have been in that New York spot if it wasn't for New York.
Well, I think one thing that probably was happening, because I know a girl that was on the Canadian version of The Bachelor, and she says a lot of times producers urge you to do certain things, urge you to go in and interrupt, urge you to take them away, urge you to give them a gift, insofar as they made her bring him out a cake that she was inside of for his birthday. She's like, I don't want to do that. They're like, and so she like gets into this cake that had people wheel her out so she could be like, happy birthday, and she did not want to do it. So I wonder if some of these antics are producer influence or inspired, and maybe she's kind of went with it. She's like, you can have him to yourself, and she's like, oh, of course I'll do that. Get out of here, he's all mine. And so I think these people are collaborating with their producers to become even more kind of obnoxious and like outlandish in how they're pursuing.
Everybody listening to this is at home saying, "Oh, Chantele, you sweet summer child." The way you have no clue what Hottie is about to give us in this season. It's like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh, so Chantele
thinks, oh my God, Hottie is a menace. And Gina in the chat is saying, Hottie is a professional air fryer associate now. You will learn what that means later on. Mr. Roybot says, Hottie, my queen, keep her out of the kitchen. And so we're getting a lot of good feedback from the chat. You say Hottie and people are going to react. She is an icon. You might know her from a GIF that we will talk about later on in the season. Does Hottie look like any singers or celebrities to you?
Maybe could she be? Well, maybe no, but I don't know. She could be in the Beyonce family. Maybe no. I don't know.
In the Beyonce family. Okay.
Like
she could
Knowleses?
be a Knowles. Hottie Knowles.
Hottie Knowles.
Okay. We'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that for sure.
Well, that's like Destiny Child's time. So like,
I
could see her fitting in with that era of like her aesthetic. Beyonce. So apparently, oh God.
Okay.
Wait,
no.
Will you click on what's day here saying?
No. Listen, it's all good. I just have a question, and we will come back to that later on for sure. Don't worry.
Okay.
That said, there are a few other women who are really trying to make a name for themselves or bigger personalities. We'll see some people fade into the background very quickly. We don't get a lot from Bubbles or Dimples, not much from Georgia or Peaches. Shell's really, he barely can give her a nickname. But some of these other women personalities will come out quickly. Miss Laden and Oyster are probably the two people who bond with New York the most, because Oyster says, I thought I was a bitch. And then I met New York. That she says, I thought I was going to be the biggest bitch in this house, and then New York walked in. So Oyster came in with a plan. She was all business. And even she saw the power that was New York. What'd you think about her reaction when she got the name Oyster? She did not seem happy.
She did not seem happy at all. But like she could have maybe spun it and been like, maybe I'm the pearl in the oyster, you know what I mean? Or whatnot. I think it's just because it's not cute. It's not really sexy. It's like a mollusk from the ocean. Like it's kind of, I like oysters, but they're kind of gross. You know what I mean? I guess they're talking about the aphrodisiac part of it, maybe. But yeah, I would not be necessarily happy to get oysters when there's other people with like, peaches. I want to be peaches, not oyster.
Yeah, I think Georgia was like, you gave away my name, and that Peaches was already walking around. But again, you know how he figured out how he came up with the name Peaches. Just grab some peaches, you know.
Maybe oysters. Maybe they're really hard, or maybe it's like a pearl, like it's super small.
She reacted okay. You know, she wasn't happy. There's several times where she would pull out her whip and kind of make sure that Flavor Flav knows that she is like, hey, right. I mean business. And so we will see if she ever really gets to spank Flavor Flav before the end.
Who had the nipples with an attitude? Like who was that?
Nipples with an attitude. I believe that was Cherry's. Cherry said, I have really big nipples. Cherry, okay. And that's well, I mean, how do you think she got her name?
Oh, right, of course. But maybe that's what Flavor Flav didn't like how pronounced they were. They're looking at him like, do you know? Well, you know, like Mona Lisa. Like every time you walk, she's still looking at you.
She's still following you. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I can't look. You can't look the nipples directly in the eye.
Maybe that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. We shall see. We'll see if he has anything else to say about her throughout the season. We haven't talked about Picasso. Picasso drew Flavor Flav or painted something for Flavor Flav. He said, that's dope. Or I think it was her shirt. She had designed her own shirt. And she said, hey, I did this. He says, okay, that's dope. I like it. I'm going to call you Picasso. She says she's goofy and weird. And she announces to the group that she loves masturbating as a stress release. Again, not something you would see on The Bachelor years and years ago. Maybe now you can probably get that conversation, but not back then.
But they would like bleep it. Like on The Bachelor now and Bachelor in Paradise, do you know like how it's in forever to have like thong or like 3/4 thong bikini bottoms? You know what I mean? And so now if someone's wearing a thong bikini bottom, they have a black box that they try to black that out. So there's no way that they'd bleep out the word masturbating 100%. Like it's purity culture over at Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. So yeah, I don't think I've heard that word on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, or Bachelor in Paradise. So yeah, that would not be said.
Well, you know, what happened to didn't one of the Bachelorette candidates have a dildo? Wasn't that her thing? Like she was like the sex toy lady?
Maybe, but that was, I don't remember.
That was recent. Really? Yeah, that was recent. I haven't, because I haven't watched that much of The Bachelor, and so
I would secret Bachelor fan. Chappell?
I have guests on. Oh, her name is Katie Thurston. Katie Thurston. She ended up being the Bachelorette.
She did do that on Matt James's season. The first Black Bachelor. She was on his season. You're right. She was being sex positive, but I don't think she ever used the word masturbate. To be fair.
Yeah, she's just like, I have this thing. I don't know what to use it for, but I have a thing. You know. She can't say the word, but she has the thing. And she will go on to be like, you know,
the Bachelorette,
like a bigger contestant, the Bachelorette. Yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. Look at Flavor Flav paving the way for these conversations to happen on live TV. There's a couple other people we have to highlight. Sirius, she will talk about how she is a model. She brought Flav some pictures. Smokey, who says she doesn't really fit in. She's a little odd. And I think the Smiley, who says, I'm really a nerd. I just look like the baddest person you ever seen in your life. Like I'm very sexy. I'm a nerd deep down. Chantele, I was very young when I was watching this, but I was old enough to realize that like I would have thrown my life away for Smiley. That would have been it.
Smiley is a very attractive woman. She looks like she would be a wag for sure. Like I like her as well. I could see dating a basketball player or some sort of baller, right? Yeah. I mean, I wonder what happened to her because, like, what kind of nerd was she? Was she like a scientist? Like, do we know any more about her nerdiness?
We'll dive into more of Smiley as we get further into the series because she is not one of the ones that we have eliminated. We do lose some contestants here. Sadly, we have to pour one out for Picasso, aka Sarah. Cherry, aka Miko, Bubbles, aka April, Shells, aka Amber, and Smokey, aka Johanna. And so I did look these people up. Smokey is a singer named Portia D. So I think she has a career in entertainment still. Mieko, who is Cherry, is the CEO of Proof Positive Healing Ministries. And so I
Oh,
think she does like some holistic healing things. And then Bubbles, aka April, is the owner of a hair extension company in San Diego. So they go on to do stuff.
okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I wonder, do you think, did you see their like Instagram bio? Do they have their stint on Flavor of Love in their Instagram
I
grid?
have a feeling that people like Cherry don't like to relive their stint on Flavor of Love. You know, Cherry she really put herself out there, and you know, she was kind of embarrassed that she's getting cut over someone like Goldie, who was blowing chunks in the living room in front of
I
everybody.
mean, no offense though, if I had to choose between Goldie and Cherry, I'd be choosing Goldie myself, right?
Even after the physical stuff outside the pool, you couldn't give her a break. You couldn't just eliminate. I don't know. You couldn't get rid of apples here.
I mean, he was doing it for the plot, you know that, right? Like he's gonna make the biggest. He wasn't here to really find love, right? He's here to make a TV show. So
This man was looking for love. So
really,
if you, I don't know, but he said he was looking for love. You know, the story of him and Brigitte Nielsen, it goes from the surreal life to their own show called Strange Love.
did you watch
And
that as
then
well?
I remember watching Strange Love. I didn't watch all of it because
You're
there's only
probably
so
like 10
much.
years old. That's crazy.
I was old enough, okay? And so I remember
You're
watching it, but then
sneaking to watch this for sure.
no, my mama just didn't care about me. She was working 2 jobs. TV raised me. I thought we knew that here. And so 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 you know, he does find love there and heartbreak. Brigitte goes back to her husband, and Flavor Flav is now on the hunt. And so when he does his eliminations here, as we kind of alluded to earlier, in The Bachelor, typically we have a rose ceremony, but roses would not be good enough for Flavor Flav. We have a clock ceremony. Chantele, did you know that that's how he did his eliminations?
I had an idea. I wasn't 100% sure, but I've seen many reality shows and there's always some sort of gimmick. So I can't remember specifically, but even Vinny and Pauly D had a reality dating show, and like they would send people off in a cab, like you know what I mean, like so they all have their exit strategy to kick people to the curb. So I assume he'd be giving out clocks. That just makes sense to me.
Yeah. So he does. He gives everybody a clock. We see that we see that several people, the ones I named, were not happy. You know, they end up going home without their clock. They're kind of confused as to how they were the ones cut. They didn't get a chance to really make the connection. But people like Oyster, who has been wearing red every day for 6 years, and you know, Goldie, who's a big personality, and then of course New York, the HBIC. You know, they will go on to continue to compete for Flav's attention. And so, Chantele, question: do you know who wins this season?
No.
Okay, interesting. Chat, please don't spoil this for Chantele.
I mean,
because this is a journey.
I may know in like the deep
in the
recesses
back of your
my
head,
mind, yeah,
right?
but like if I were to pick somebody right now, like I have like peaches or pumpkin, I don't know, but like
Okay.
I actually have no idea. The reason I would say pumpkin is like she's blonde. I don't know if she's tall. He does say he likes tall women, and so I'm wondering if a tall woman might you know, get his affection here for this season. But so if I was going to take a guess, it would be Pumpkin, especially because she's been heavily featured. She's kind of already complaining about New York. You're saying that she's very heavily involved in this season. So maybe it's Pumpkin that wins this season. But I actually just don't know. I'm just looking at the edit for the season.
Okay, so this is fun. Chantele, I'm so excited to see you take this journey of Flavor of Love. We had 20 people, 15 beds. We're down to the final 15 already. And so these next few episodes will be including challenges, and they're going to have to go on these solo dates and group dates, very much in the vein of The Bachelor. But we will lead up to the final reckoning. You know, when we get to the end, I'm telling you, like it's like the finale happens, But it gets so crazy before the finale that people don't really even talk about the finale like that. Like it's
Okay.
like the finale, like the worst episode of season. It's not the worst, but it's like it might be like number 5. If we talking about top 5 moments. So yeah, this is gonna be so much fun, Chantele. Thank you. Any last thoughts about these women? Flavor of Love.
Well, the one last thought that I have is what I think is hilarious. Right before they do the clock ceremony, when everybody all together is like, "Hey," and I'm just thinking of like all these like apples and peaches, like calling back to like Flavor, like, "Hey, like I laughed because I'm just like, some of these people it's just not in them to be, just interacting in this kind of way, and it was very amusing to me. That's all. I think we talked about everything that I wrote down.
Yes, love that.
We didn't talk about him having a broomstick butt.
Yeah. Oyster wants to spank him, and he says he ain't got the ass for that. Oh, I didn't ask you. Flavor Flav has a butler. You see Big Rick?
Wait, what? Oh, Butler. I mean, he's cute.
Big Rick is there. I think he's a fan favorite as well. He's there to make sure that all these women don't fight, I guess, and to do
or
Flavor
fight,
Flav's
but
bidding.
Make
it
look cute.
Yeah, exactly. And so Flav will send these women off with a champagne toast and then pour some out for the ones who didn't make it. And we are left in this episode with, I think, last words coming from Rain, who says she has loved Flavor Flav her entire life, and that will never change. So more to come from Rain, I'm sure. But Chantele, this has been so much fun. I love this. This is quick, in and out. This is great. I know you got to come back and talk about more.
I don't talk about every episode. Like, do
you want to be my running co-host for this, and we could just bring in some guests? How about that?
Yes. 100%. Okay. Like there's nothing more that I want to do weekly is to talk about this show with you. Like it's yes, 100%.
Oh. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for all the people in the chat, all the people in our YouTube chat, Twitch chat, all that good stuff. If you're watching this afterwards and you're just watching the recorded video, please leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know your feelings about Flavor Flav, your favorite moments,
what spoilers, you thought. Though, still,
no spoilers. Chantele cannot read the comments. Chantele, you're officially banned from reading the comments. I'm sorry.
I always comment on them though.
Yeah, but I don't know what they're gonna say in there. And people love talking about this show. So keep it cute in the comments, y'all. But let us know what you thought and what other shows maybe that we should do after this. Again, we're gonna be in the Flavor of Love universe for a while. We have 3 seasons of this total, and then some other people that we would have to address in those seasons as well. So make sure you are liking our YouTube videos, liking the content, subscribing everywhere. recapkickback.com/subscribe and join the conversation here. If you're on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@recapkickback, so that you can comment and watch along with us next time we go live. And if you're on our Twitch, shout out to Gina and our mods for making sure that everybody's good there. Make sure you subscribe. Our twitch.tv/Chappell's_show to keep up with all the stuff I have going on over there. Chantele, what are you working on these days?
What am I working on? It's the beginning of Love Island USA, and then it's going to be Love Island UK starting next week. Then it's going to be Bachelor in Paradise. So this is going to be a full-on summer of love for me. Flavor of Love included, of course. And so if you subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's, you'll see me doing some content along those lines daily. So I'm behind for this week because they kind of got all messed up with their schedule. And so I was like, I need to watch this now or else I have to go to bed. And so I'm behind, but I'm catching up by this weekend. And then, every day we'll have a video going out. So let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. And then, of course, we have other Recap Kickback content coming your way as well. You can also catch me on the Nothing But Netflix podcast on nothingbutpod.com and over on RHAP as we prepare to talk about some new reality shows. Jenny Autumn and I are going to be talking about The Snake on Fox. So check that out. It premieres this week coming up. And so we'll be talking about that. But then, of course, Big Brother is coming too. So there's a lot of content.
You'll see me talking about Big Brother. And you're going to be doing a lot more content with Big Brother as well. So yes, Big Brother's back, baby.
We're back, baby. And so until next time, Chantele, thank you. This has been so much fun. Chat, thank y'all so much for participating. And you know the rules. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Peace out. Talk to y'all later.